Good evening and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, we go back to A Realm Reborn, Part 3. A boring Realm Reborn. God. I don't know why I do this to myself sometimes. I mean, it wouldn't be so bad if New Game Plus was actually not boring. But it's boring. But the story's good. It's just the story of Final Fantasy XIV is good. I like the story. Start to end, I like the story. I have some issues in the middle. Probably not where you think I have the issues, just based on that statement, but just the story's good. It's just the way they implemented New Game Plus is just bad. Also, I'm going to pre-apologize because my daughter is still awake and she's 4, so it's not like I can force her to just go to sleep. I can tell her to go to bed, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to do it. It's going to do anything. So, yes, let's resume. Where were we? I think we would just finish Sistasha. Oh no, we were far. Yeah, we just finished. We did Copperbell Mines. That's where we were. We'd finished Copperbell Mines and then done that little quest. So we need to go to Ul'dah. Or not that quest. We'd done that little duty after we finished Copperbell, where we run into Ida and Papalimo. Although, if you, it changes depending on which city-state you start in. If you start in Limsa, you run into Y'shtola after that. Or if you start in Ul'dah, you run into Thancred after that. So it changes. And I like the fact that they included changes like that based on how you started, but still. It doesn't make up for the fact that it's boring as all get out. Hopefully, once we get into Heaven's Word, I mean, that's a long ways off, but hopefully once we get into Heaven's Word, the difficulty at least picks up at least a little bit, so it's actually not terribly boring. To be fair, and as far as what Momodi is saying right here, painting a sign that says certain death on one door and limitless wealth on the other door, and 9 out of 10 adventurers not being able, or going through the one that says certain death, and the other one just not being able to choose money or certain death. To be fair, it's a lot. You're talking about adventurers. It's a lot more entertaining to go see if you can kill something that's going to supposedly kill you than to sit there with limitless wealth and not do anything for the rest of your life. So it's kind of not a fair thing to say, is because, like, they're adventurers. They want to go out on an adventure. They don't want to sit there and do nothing for the rest of their life. Otherwise, they wouldn't be adventurers, right? Pray return to the waking sands. Let's see. Nah, I don't want to waste the money teleporting when I can just take the 8th ride out of Ul'dah and then go and fly all the way there. It'll take a few more minutes, but it's cheaper, and it doesn't really matter that I have 38 million, well, yeah, 38 million gil on me, and I save money. Because the key to making money, or keeping, or saving money in Final Fantasy, or any MMO really, is don't spend it on frivolous things for no reason. I mean, if you need a piece of gear, or you need some gems or materia or whatever that you need for what you're doing, or potions or flasks or whatever, sure. If you can't make them yourself, buy them. But if you can avoid spending money, there's no need to spend money. Don't spend your money, save your money, until you find something that you do need to spend it on. You find all these people, well, it's so hard to make money, it's so hard to make money. Well, how much money have you made? Well, I keep on getting up to 1 million, but then I spend it all. Well, that's why you never get past 1 million there, isn't it? If you don't spend it, you keep on accumulating, right? Yes, the Warrior of Light is a ninja even before they could be a ninja. Although, to be fair, it's really easy to sneak up on people like that. If you're just being quiet and walking around, and like they can't really hear your footsteps because whatever's going on around them, or they're talking or something, you can sneak up right behind somebody and then just stand there quietly, and then they'll turn around and jump out of their skin because, oh, there's a person that they weren't expecting anybody to be there. No, you cannot have my name. You just need to take my word that I'm here at the behest of Ida and Papalimo. Although, spoilers, not that it matters. Ida, in my opinion, was a better character when she was Ida with Papalimo than she was when she became Lise. Like, after she stopped being Ida and became Lise, she just kind of became bland. Like, with Ida and Papalimo, there was a dynamic. It was interesting to watch. It was fun. But you take away Papalimo and make her Lise, it's not as entertaining to watch. It's not as fun to be a part of. What is it, princess? Did we go to a video we didn't want to go to? Here we go. This person escorts you in and then disappears promptly, and you never see them again.
So you're the adventurer of whom I've heard so much. Well met, friend. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the 7th Dawn. I have awaited your coming. Please, be at ease. You are among friends here.
Like, I understand. What was the point of going to the other side of the desk? Like, did she just want to be like the head of the Flying V there for a few minutes? Like, there's really no need for her to move around the desk.
No doubt you are ripe to burst with questions. But have patience. All will be revealed in time. First, let me begin by telling you who we are and what we do.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
We are the Scions of the 7th Dawn, an order that transcends political boundaries. Our single objective is the preservation of the future of Eorzea. Among our gravest concerns are the godlike beings known as the Primals. Their existence is a bane upon Eorzea, nay, the world at large, and we have striven to find a lasting solution to the threat they pose. Our order is home to a number of individuals who, like you, possess a rare and special talent. This talent takes various forms, but one holds particular interest for us. Tell me, have you ever experienced a sudden, inexplicable loss of consciousness? Have you ever had the sensation of being pulled away from reality? Felt as though you were hovering in space? A mind without a body?
They say that the echo is different in everybody, but then they immediately backtrack on that. Like, almost everyone that you run into the game that has the echo all have the same basic, we can see the past ability. Like, and there's no explanation of anybody that has any kind of different power whatsoever. They can all basically see the past, although some people are not as able to see it as clearly, so it's not as strong, but everyone can see the past, and everyone can understand people even if they're not speaking a language they understand. So it's like, those are the two basic powers of the echo, but no one ever has anything different. But they say that people have different powers, or with the echo, so...
All these things are the manifestations of your talent. Yours is the power to transcend the boundaries of the soul, a power known as the Echo.
And now they call it a talent, but it's not a talent. You can't even control it. It does it whenever it feels like it, or whenever the plot demands it, either or.
The Echo allows you to pass through the walls of a man's soul and hear the resonations of his past. You will be there in his memories and see things as he saw them. You may even interact with that which you see, though you cannot change the outcome of events. For another blessing, the Echo will enable you to know a man's mind even if you cannot comprehend his words. In short, the Echo is a truly extraordinary power, and this power is strong within you.
And this power is the only reason that they get away with the Carol, however you pronounce it in the steppe, the Aura tribe or the Zewa tribe that doesn't ever speak, and it's all about the actions. Like, this is the only reason they get away with them not being able to speak, is that you can just understand their mind without understanding their language. It's like, okay, well, that's the only way they get away with that. If they couldn't speak at all, or if you didn't have the echo where you could just understand them, they would use few words, but they wouldn't use no words. Or at least they would write. Or something. Some kind of sign language, not just pointing at you and nodding at you and looking at you.
It is only a shame that we cannot use it whensoever we choose.
Then why call it a talent?
That's right. I, too, possess the Echo.
God, the acting. The voice acting on that wine was cringeworthy.
With that established, let us return to the subject of the primals. So long as they exist, the realm cannot take so much as a single step towards true peace.
Sure they can. Make peace treaties with the beast tribes instead of trying to murder them all. Or actually go murder all the tempered ones and then be like, okay, well now that all the tempered ones are gone, now we can make a peace treaty.
Measures must be taken. Measures which transcend boundaries, be they of faction, race, language, or creed. And to do so, the Scions require the aid of those with our talent. Make no mistake, the Echo will be instrumental in dealing with the primal threat. Without it, we cannot hope to save the realm. I know not what it is you desire for yourself, nor what it was that first brought you to Eorzea.
What first brought me to Eorzea was a desire to entertain people, not bore them to death.
But I firmly believe that the power we possess was given to us for a purpose. Why else would the gods entrust man with a gift so extraordinary, if not to have him use it?
Because the god that gave it is not actually discriminatory in who gets it. You just have to look up and be lucky enough to see a meteor shower.
And so I implore you, lend us your power.
And then we're not even done with this cutscene, but we're just going to randomly switch back to non-voice acting. I mean, they could have at least had Totaro come into the room with an actual paper in her hand, instead of just being like, well, the paper's requested, then reach into her pocket and hand nothing. But I already have two. Are you going to let me have another one? I doubt it, but I already have two. Wild Rose. The same password that has been passed on from Final Fantasy game to Final Fantasy game since Final Fantasy II. High Arena Retainer. I don't even know why it's there, but you know, whatever. I mean, it doesn't even give you the choice to say no, which is kind of disappointing, because I would love to see what would happen if you said no. So, you can't even, be like, you're crazy. But sure, I'll join you anyway. You have to give the... I will go with... all three answers can't be just a
I
yes.
take it you will help us.
And then we're back to this random voice acting again.
Wonderful. I knew you wouldn't let us down. But come, I would introduce you to your friends in the Order. Tell me, does the name Sharlayan ring any bells? It used to be one of Eorzea's 6 city-states, and was situated in the northwest of Aldenard. The Sharlayans were the keepers of wisdom both old and new. Their mastery over magic and ether was unsurpassed, and even the Garleans knew to fear them. Among their number, there were a noble few who devoted their lives to safeguarding the future of Eorzea. When the realm began its descent into chaos, and their countrymen fled for the motherland, they alone chose to remain here. These noble men and women were called the Archons. Those same brave souls stand before you now.
I don't see any glowing balls of power. But you know, this is probably not StarCraft.
The masked woman is Ida, and beside her is Popalimo. The two are charged with surveying the Twelveswood.
Hello there.
Welcome. I had every confidence that you would agree to help us.
Me too.
I mean, it's not like I was given a choice.
Okay, my turn to introduce someone. That there is Thancred.
He is our man here in Ul'dah, Jewel of the Desert.
Welcome to the team. If I may, the lovely maiden beside me is named Y'shtola. Limsa Lominsa has the pleasure of being under her care.
Greetings. Last but not least is Urianger, who presides over all affairs within these halls. Pray seek him out whenever you have questions.
Dawn may banish even the darkest night. The words of a dear friend. I'm glad of our meeting.
At the Battle of Carteneau, our leader was taken from us. But we did not stray from our purpose.
Yeah, but you didn't really accomplish your purpose either. You had 5 years, and you didn't... What exactly you've been doing for 5 years?
We sought out Minfilia and others with her talent, and together established the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Along with the Archons, those blessed with the Echo play a pivotal role in our endeavor to forge a brighter tomorrow for the realm. Oh, I should also introduce you to Tataru, our clerk. She ensures that everything runs smoothly.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
God, that voice.
In time, I hope you will come to think of us as family.
I am so glad that after the end of Aroma Born, they switched voice acting companies to do the voice acting, because Tataru's voice is just so bad.
But without further ado, I would assign you your first task. Urianger, have the documents arrived from the students of Baldessian?
Aye, my lady. They arrived but recently.
We have received a request for aid from the Immortal Flames. Thancred, would you do the honors?
It would be my pleasure. Some days ago, a crystal caravan registered to Amagina and Sons mineral concern was waylaid and divested of its cargo. But there is more. Within a bell of the robbery, several people were reported missing from the shantytown outside the city.
At a glance, one would assume the involvement of bandits, kidnappers, and coincidence. Such crimes are hardly uncommon, and the Immortal Flames deal with their like almost every day.
And they apparently are terrible at their jobs if it's something they have to deal with every day.
However, this time we have reason to believe that a primal is involved.
Aye. The evidence left behind implicates the Emulja, who are known worshippers of Ifrit. If we then consider the objects that were taken, there is no room left for doubt. The crimes were committed in the name of a primal.
That you may better understand the nature of our struggle with the primals, I would have you play the leading role in this investigation.
Except that you're just going to be sitting there following the advice of everybody else that happened to be in the area and not actually leading the investigation.
You have my thanks.
Go here, investigate this. Talk to this person, investigate that.
If there is aught you wish to know, I recommend you speak with Thancred. He is well versed in the affairs of Ulda.
Ever at your service, fair lady.
We just did the quest, or did all that voice acting to get you to accept the quest, but now we have to reiterate the quest 2 seconds later because reasons? Like, I'm not sure what the whole point of having Thancred go over basically everything you just talked about again. Like, there's really no reason for it. They have you collect a lot of bodies in this game. Like, after these 3, I can think of at least 8 more that they have you pick you up just before you even get to Castrum Meridianum. Hell, before you even get to Garuda. How do you determine it? By checking everyone who actually lives in the town. It's obviously not somebody that doesn't live there. I mean, why would that even be your first assumption? That it's not somebody that lives there. Like, somebody random that no one would have any reason to trust? just randomly abducting people and no one's reporting it or been able to see it? No, it's clearly somebody in the town that people would trust for some reason. Be it a merchant or something. I have no reason to believe you, even if that turns out to be true. And it does turn out to be true, but that doesn't mean I have any reason to actually believe you. You could just be a dick. I mean, you are a dick, but that's not the point. I mean, I wouldn't move to Costa del Sol if they paid me. Mostly because dealing with Master Gageru and his crazy fancies every time they changed. It would just not be worth the hassle of living there. But here, since you're going up there anyway, take this body. And then you just bury him like it's like, sure, but isn't there like rituals and things that people in this place follow and you just bury them without any of those rituals? I mean, you would think that Thancred would recognize Sid. Oh, spoilers, I suppose, but still. You would think that Thancred would recognize Sid. Okay, so he apparently did recognize him, he just didn't know from where. That's fair enough. It has been like 5 years since they've seen each other. At least at this point in the story. But I do like that they included that line because it kind of sets up the fact that it's actually said it's not just some random Deus Ex Machina, or however the hell that's pronounced. My tongue doesn't work apparently. Deus Ex Machina. I think that's the correct pronunciation of it. Being able to fly saves so much time and effort. He lost his shiny thing. Stupid internet stream buffering being dumb. I don't know why it's dumb, but it is sometimes. I don't know why. If it was a ring, why didn't he just say, I lost the ring my mother gave me, and she went to look for it for me? Why just call it his shiny thing? Like, he should know what a ring is, right? I mean, you're the sneaky ninja rogue person. Why do I have to go in there and search? I mean, not that it would really, they could stop me anyway. I could kill this entire camp 100,000 times over and it wouldn't make a difference. You know, this would... I'm so glad I could fly, because this would be unbearable otherwise. It would... Like, just riding back and forth would just... It'd be unbearable. I mean, Thancred beat you back, so why didn't he just keep the wee foot and go ahead of you, and then you just show up and get the details later? A worthy adversary. I mean, you would think that people would recognize you just... Even if you did put on some old clothes, that you'd think that they would recognize you, that you're not just some random person with old clothes. Like, they should have seen you running around camp, so they would be like, no, like, what are you doing with those? And then you still have your weapon. I mean, people should obviously recognize that you're not just some random homeless vagrant trying to find a work. Up top. I think the other two are up top. Alright, there's one here. I mean, being poor gives me the right to pester whoever I want. If you're standing outside, I can come up to you and beg and pester you. Don't be outside if you don't want to be pestered. don't want to remain in disguise? What if I don't like these smelly, old, dirty clothes? I mean, he's saying that you tricked him, but he should have... It's not like you were attempting to hide your face or anything. He should have recognized you before he even finished walking up. I really don't see how changing into dirty clothes makes people stop recognizing you. I mean, why not just use the link pearl? I mean, that's what you have them for, right? So you can just communicate over long distances. But no, I'm going to have to go back to the Waking Sands just to report. But at least I can put on real clothes again. Fly all the way back. Didn't they add like an aetherite ticket to Vesper Bay or something when they added this? Like, you would think that that kind of thing would be included in the New Game Plus. That way you didn't have to constantly teleport back to Horizon and then fly all the way just because you're a returning player or a long time player instead of a first-time character. But see, that what's her face that was there the first time, she's gone. You never see her again. Like, what was the point of her being there in the first place if you don't ever need her to let you into the Silver again? I mean, this particular quest really doesn't need to be a New Game Plus. I mean, if you're doing New Game Plus, you already have done this. You should already know how to use materia and how all that whole thing with materia works. And if you don't, you should know how to use the active help to be able to figure that out, or ask somebody who does. Like, this quest literally does not need to be a New Game Plus. I can understand it being included in the new player experience, but this quest does not need to be in New Game Plus. I already know how to do this. I can do this on my own. I don't need to be re-instructed, but thank you. I don't need you, Mutamix. I already know. I've done all this before, but now I have to go all the way back. Pray return to the Waking Sands. Again. Like, and this kind of reiterates the point. Like, there was a New Game Plus, there was no need for this quest. Zero. Zilch. It doesn't teach you anything that you, as a player who's unlocked New Game Plus, doesn't already know. Although now that I think about it, I have to wonder why you have to go up some stairs to get into the building, only to immediately go back downstairs. Like, whoever designed this building is an idiot. No, it did not. See, we could have just skipped the whole going to Metamix thing and just gone straight back to Drybow. And saved like 5 minutes, however long it took, for no reason. Yay, we're gonna be synced down to norm, or to level 24. Shocking. He waves at the guy, the evil merchant guy, and then runs after him. Here, I thought they were going to at least provide some cow-in. It's not any fun when you hit them twice and they die. Oh, some of that actually lasted more than 2 hits. Shocking. I mean, it's not like it's even a fight. What do you mean, is there no... I killed like 30 of them already. Haven't even broken a sweat yet. I mean, I just killed like 30 of them, and you guys think that I couldn't take the rest of you? We're not gonna wait for a group. We're just gonna do this the easy way. 3 seconds. The record is 1 second, but, you know, whatever. Oops. I forgot to turn back on the whole skip, or turn off the skip playback, because I just skipped an entire... I know, I have a better idea. It only takes a few seconds to get the... to get back in without having to queue. So we'll just... we'll leave, we'll turn that off, and then we'll do it again so we can get the whole cutscene there. I have to wonder why they let you keep your weapon. Like, what was the point of that? Like, did they not expect you to fight back at any point, or what? Or is that just a game thing where they just technically took it from you, they just don't show that they took it from you, because then it wouldn't really be a fair fight. I mean, the summoning is cool. No, not of your godhead. I mean, I understand how crystals make them stronger, because it gives them more ether. I don't quite understand how believing in them makes them stronger. See, this line right here tells me that the echo is not being tempered. Like, there's some speculation out there that I've heard that people think that the echo is just you being tempered by Hydaelyn. This line right here tells me that it's not. Because if Ifrit, whatever, is like, well, you're not actually tempered, like, I don't smell the taint of any other primal upon you, then you're not tempered. Like, Hydaelyn didn't temper you. So, and it's entirely possible that you've never actually met Hydaelyn throughout the whole game. you've just had the illusion of being there, like she's made illusions of herself showing up places, but you've never actually been to where she is. That would be my only explanation as to why you're technically not tempered, or at least as far as what Ifrit is implying here. Cry baby. No one ever notices you stopping to pick up these crystals either. Like, it's not like you hide it either. You're like just like holding these crystals out in the middle of nowhere, and no one ever notices that you pick them up. Yeah, you're late already. If it's already dead. Oh, Nero, Nero, Nero. God, she is so thirsty. I mean, it's not like he even did anything wrong. He was just questioning how strong the Warrior of Light was and if they were going to be a problem. considering that he's one of the 3 highest ranking people underneath Gaius, like, you would think that it would be in his purview to question whether or not someone is going to be a thorn in their side. You know. But apparently not according to Livia. According to Livia, you need to shut up and do what you were told. Pray return to the Waking Sands. Again. Because we can't request that you go to the Waking Sands enough. Okay, I could have swore that yeah, he's a merchant and mender. I'm not sure why he's not given the option to repair gear. Whatever. Maybe you just don't take gear damage in New Game Plus. I think this is like the 10th time we've been back to Waking Sands in the last hour. Or at least it feels like the 10th time we've been back to the Waking Sands in the last hour. Oh, I guess I was wrong. She does make another appearance. Why she's not there all the time, though, is a good question. Like, if you're going to be at the guard of the door, be the guard of the door, or at least always have someone be the guard of the door. Don't just randomly appear. And stop being a crybaby. Here we go. We explain how the primals are summoned and how they work. But again, I get the whole crystal and aether thing. I don't understand how faith makes them stronger. I believe you are stronger. I believe. Makes no sense. At least not really. I mean, I understand it's a game, but still. Which I don't understand. I'm not sure how believing in something and worshiping something makes it stronger. And then he walks up to you like, I'm about to hurt you. I mean, it's kind of a dick move. You would think that someone would be researching a way to actually remove tempering, because there's got to be a way to remove it. You'd think someone would be at least looking into it, trying to figure it out. At least on the Garland side, you would think that they would be all over that kind of thing. Like, I understand that the Eorzeans be like, oh, well, no, we don't want to, what's the word, we don't want to have people tempered just to see if we can break it. But you would think that, considering how often the beast tribes summon their primals, that there'd be no shortage of tempered people that they could just throw in jail and do research on. I mean, you're going to kill them anyway otherwise. Why not research to see if you can find a way to reverse the process? And then there's this quest. Another quest that literally... Well, I suppose that this quest isn't as bad as the Mutamix one. Like, this one, it at least introduces you to Alphino and Alize, and you go around to the different city-states and listen to their... What's the word? The remembrance speeches. I mean, I've already got a Grand Company. I've got my own squadron of idiots that quite literally are idiots. I don't need to get another Grand Company. I mean, unless you're going to give me another house. That's not going to happen. I mean, of course that it was related to the other Grand Companies. It wouldn't be fair. I mean, well, fairness aside, it wouldn't make sense to only allow you to have the choice of one Grand Company when there's 3 that you can choose from, and then have to choose from one of the 3 later when you can just plot or conveniently have all 3 of them there and choose it at that one time. So, necessary for the plot, I suppose. What I would love, though, is that since Heaven's Ward is over and the whole Dragon Song war is ended, that if they added the Knights of the Holy See as a 4th Grand Company that you could join, and maybe even the Girabonian Army or whatever that's called, add them as a 5th Grand Company, like, it'd be nice to have more options than just these 3 default options. And the Sekisei Gume, or whatever it's called in Kugane, there's a housing district there, so why not be able to join their house, or at the very least be able to join their Grand Company, or whatever they want to call their Grand Company. And since Ishgard's supposed to be getting housing, having the Knights of the Holy See would definitely make sense. The only one that doesn't quite make sense because there's not a planned housing for it is the one from Kiribania, but they could add housing to there eventually. That'd be nice. I'm sure a lot of people would love to have, or at least the role players would love to have a Giribonian place to live, or housing ward, or district, whatever you want to call it. Although I'm not sure quite how you'd distinguish it from the district or the, what's it called? Not the mist, the goblet. I'm not sure how you would distinguish it from the goblet, but it'd still be a nice thing to have. At the very least, even if they wouldn't add them to this quest, being able to add or have them join them later, like after you complete Heaven's Ward, being able to join the Holy See, and after you complete Stormblood, being able to join the Sekisei Gume. At least then, at that time, like, those would make sense. Just additional flavor to be able to, or more character customization, always a good thing. More choice is always a good thing for the player. I mean, I understand that it would probably take a bit of work, because then they'd have to add in new armor and vendors and things in Ishgard and Kugane, but it'd be worth it, I think. I mean, I still have to technically go grind out the other two grand companies because I've only done the one. But I'm not sure I'm going to choose a different one because I'm already not captain rank. The first rank you get after you get your squadron and actually do get them all, or enough of them up to like level 40 to do that first like important quest. The first rank after that. So I think it's like captain or something. So I'm probably just going to go back to choose the serpent or twin serpents because I'm already there. It's like, why join these other two if I'm just going to grind those out later? Maybe. Eventually. Probably. Maybe. I still have to go finish my A Realm Reborn relic weapons. Then I'm sorry, but like, why didn't you give us the Link Pearl earlier? Like, was there a reason why you weren't giving us one? Like, maybe we needed to contact you quickly or contact somebody else quickly because some random crap is going down, like being attacked by a whole bunch of Amalja and being dragged off to Ifrit or whatever. You know, things that make sense, but apparently made too much sense to allow at the time. If I remember correctly, she says that we can do these in any order because logistics in one place is just not going to be ready when we get there, ready first, and so we'll just happen to get lucky when we get there, and it'll just be magic that it happens that way. But I kind of agree with her, having played all the way through the end of the current story in Shadowbringers. The Warrior of Light is one of the luckiest characters ever to exist. Like, the story always moves forward when the Warrior of Light gets involved. Like, you talk to people like, oh, well, we're getting nowhere, and now you're here, and then all of a sudden, shit's just getting done. I mean, I think I'll go to Limsa first because I can catch the ferry here and the teleport will be cheaper. Or taking the ferry will be cheaper than the teleport. Yeah, 80 gil versus 170, so a little more than 50% cheaper. And then I'll probably just use return because that's set to Gridania. So that'll be teleport right there. And then I'll just use the teleport to Ul'dah, and that'll be that. I think that'll be the cheapest route to go. Anti-Rite Plaza. I mean, but thinking about it now, if you don't get rewards for doing this, they should at least remove the teleportation cost while you're doing New Game Plus. If you don't get any money for it, like, what's the point? Like, why charge people for teleporting? Like, you're not recouping your costs like you would be if you were playing the game through. So playing New Game Plus is literally just it's a money sink. It's a bad money sink because teleporting doesn't cost that much, but that's not the point. It's just a money sink for a money sink's sake.
The Garleans are another matter altogether.
So much for our alliance.
It's sunk beyond the seabed.
Brothers and sisters of the sea, hearken unto me. Look upon this, our mighty crimson standard, and tell me your hearts do not swell with pride. "700 summers have come and gone since our forefathers first ran aground in this fertile bay. In that time, guided by the Mother of Oceans, Limsa Lominsa has grown from humble fishing village to uncontested ruler of the 5 seas and beyond.
Did you look as the Admiral bid you? It is a rather stirring standard, I must say. The crimson field is meant to signify the blood of fallen crewmates, while the black longship represents a pirate vessel.
When the Garlean Empire marched upon Eorzea, we assembled beneath the Maelstrom standard, and our grand company was reborn. All answered the call, from the Knights of the Barracuda to Hilthier's bloody executioners, and together we met our would-be conquerors upon the field of Cartano. That day, the world bore witness to the united strength of Limsa Lominsa. I swear to you no army ever fought harder or with more courage, yet many of ours did not survive. Join me now in remembering those who fought in the name of freedom and fell. May their souls be returned to the sea.
Freedom. Yes, they have always been rather fond of their freedom. Much as the beast tribes have. Small wonder. Beneath the surface, one would struggle to tell them apart.
It has been 5 long years since the calamity struck. 5 long years of tireless rebuilding. Yet still the wounds of the calamity fester and weep. But when I stand atop the mizzenmast and gaze out upon our battered and broken vessel, I see an undying spirit. Did we not build all this from the wreck of the Galadian all those centuries ago? Shall we not do so again?
No,
Yet
because
there are those who would see this ship of ours sink beneath the waves of the restless
it all looks like
Rotano.
it's made of stone. It doesn't actually look like it's made of a ship. Hell, it doesn't even remind me of a ship to look at it.
The Sahagin creep ashore seeking blood for their accursed god.
Those fishback
The Sahagin
bastards.
have risen?
while the mines of Ogomero spew forth kobolds who push ever south, despoiling our lands as they go. These savage beast tribes will be the first waves to crash against our creaking hull. And behind them swells the grim tide of the Garlean Empire. Even now, the Curs fly their flags within our borders. Doubt not, but that they will be upon us ere long. We are well nigh surrounded. Yet there are those among us who would rather turn their swords against their crewmates than our cannons against our foes. How can we hope to repel our many enemies when mutiny breeds below deck? There is but one course left to us. One bearing that will bring us victory over the beast hordes and the Empire both. And we must mend the rift the Calamity has reopened twixt Pirate and Maelstrom, and stand fast with our adventurer brothers against the coming Tempest. Mark ye well, a crew without unity is no crew at all. 'Tis but a mass of drowned men. To me, then, brothers and sisters of the sea, gather beneath the undying crimson standard, and pledge me your strength, your skill, your wisdom. And with the guidance of the navigator, this great vessel of ours shall ride the waves, till sea swallows all!
Long live the Admiral!
Admiral Melvin! Gather the lads!
Oh, where's me cutlass?
I'll follow ye to the seven hells, Admiral!
It's really unfortunate that she didn't get transferred over to whatever company that they switched the voice acting to, because the Admiral is probably one of the best, most talented actors of all the Realm Reborn voice actors.
And my sister, Alize, at your service. I saw at a glance that you were a fellow traveler. You might call us students of history, sampling the realm's remembrances in pursuit of enlightenment.
I mean, we already know that you work for Minfilia, and Minfilia probably told you what we look like, and so you're just like, oh, well, that's a person that I've heard tale of, so I'm going to go talk to them and be a snooty little brat. And yes, Alphino is a snooty little brat. Like, a Realm Reborn Alphino is so goddamn cocky and so annoying. I mean, he gets better in Heaven's Word about it, but I'm going to be perfectly honest, he never gets... He may have moved away from that side of himself, but he never gets to the point, in my opinion, that he's not self-assured and cocky. Like, he may not think he is, but he totally is. Yeah, see, that right there, that line right there, instantly confirms that it's like, well, I've heard of you from Minfilia, and I'm just guessing that it's you because they described what you look like and what you're wearing. Which also brings up the question again, like, how does changing your clothes make people not recognize you, but some people still recognize you? Okay, so yeah, we were gonna... to Gridania. Oh my god, this loading screen.
I lost my son to the calamity.
The 3 Seed Seers are all together.
Some say you couldn't take a step without stumbling over a body.
The random small talk in these remembrance services is kind of amusing at certain points.
Our forebears were once strangers in the Twelveswood. Fearful of the Green Wrath, they hid themselves in the dark recesses of the earth. Yet they dreamed of basking in the dappled sunlight of the forest. Through great effort, they proved their worth to the elementals, and were granted a place beneath the boughs. So it was that Gridania was born, some 5 centuries ago. Working hand in hand, the Hure and the Elysian settlers sowed the seeds of our civilization, and soon they were joined by folk of all races. So nourished by the waters of unity, and blessed by the light of the matron, Gridania flourished into the great nation it is today.
She said they were joined by all the races, but I can't really think of anyone outside of Elysian, Hire, and Makote that actually live in Gridania. They're all basically... Like, I don't know of any rows... Oh, no, wait. There's Fafusha, the botanist guild leader, who's a Lalafell, but that's, like, the only exception. Like, I don't know of any Rogadins or any Ora that live in... Or Vieira, for that matter, but that's... Well, Ora and Vieira and Rothgar weren't introduced until... Or Ora were in Heaven's Ward, and Vieira and Rothgar were just in Shadowbringer, so... Those are understandable, but I don't know of any Rogadins. Or... What's the other... Or, yeah, no, I don't know of any Rogadins that actually live in Gridania.
Do you see the Gridanian standard? There, hanging behind the Elder Seed Seer. The entwined serpents represent the unity between Hure and Elysian. An elegant symbol, do you not agree?
In accordance with the will of the elementals, we have embraced a life of peace. Alas, our neighbors have not always sought the same for themselves. Though we Gridanians have no love for war, we have still less for those who would threaten our way of life. When the Garlean Empire brought its war of conquest to Eorzea, we rallied under the noble standard of the Twin Adder that we might push back the encroaching darkness.
Okay, then I have to wonder here, because this guy's I forget his name, but he's the Conjurers Guild leader. So you would think that the Lancer Guild leader would be here as well, but I don't remember seeing him on the stage, and I'm pretty sure he's not on stage.
And it was we who prepared the ground for the reformation of the Eorzean Alliance, that all the peoples of this realm might stand united against the common threat. "5 years ago, the Alliance met the armies of the Empire upon the fields of Cartano. It would prove the bloodiest battle in recent memory. Countless Gridanian lives were lost. As Supreme Commander of the Order of the Twin Adder, ever shall I bear the weight of our people's sacrifice. Alas, their loss was not the only tragedy to befall us that day, for soon came the calamity. The scars borne by our forest are a constant reminder of its violence. Our lives have been irrevocably changed. Each waking hour, a struggle to survive.
I mean, they say this and they're all like, well, we've had 5 years to rebuild and we're still trying to rebuild. And like, maybe that's true, but when you look around Ul'dah and Gridania and Limsa Lominsa, I mean, maybe it's because I didn't start until Stormblood, but none of them look like they're even attempting to rebuild. They all look like they're finished rebuilding, and it's just a matter of, well, we haven't decided we're going to be quote-unquote done yet, so we're not done.
Driven to desperation, some among us have strayed from the path of righteousness, resorting to banditry, poaching, and other unconscionable deeds.
I mean, yes, that sounds like the... what is it, not... the Duskwights.
To compound our woes, the Ixal have returned in force, emboldened by our suffering. They test our defenses nigh without cease, and prey upon the vulnerable. So beleaguered from within and without, it is of little wonder that our unity now falters.
Time was a man could walk the high roads without fear.
On this day, 5 years ago, countless Eorzeans laid down their lives that we might behold another dawn. Please join with me in honoring their memory.
Yeah, see, I don't see the Lancer Guild leader up there, but the Conjurer Guild leader's up there. Like, does he get special privileges just because he's a Bajal too?
And how do you propose to honor the memory of those you cannot remember, pray tell?
The destruction wrought by the calamity was indiscriminate. It dealt death to Eorzean and Garlean alike. Yet while we have labored to rebuild our homes, to rebuild our lives, the Empire has set about raising steel fortresses here in the Twelveswood. Let none be mistaken. The Garleans remain the greatest threat to our survival. If we are to stand against them, we must remember what it is to be united. Our many troubles blind us to the woes of our fellow man. Thence is harmony lost. Yet harmony is the founding principle of Gridania. We are gathered here to honor the fallen. Let them be honored not only in word and thought, but through concerted action. I bid you, join hands with me once more beneath the Twin Adder's standard. And together, let us heal the forest's wounds, that our progeny might live in harmony beneath these ancient boughs. For serenity, purity, and sanctity, we must think of the children.
Yes.
It's up to us.
Won't somebody please think of the children? And just like that, we're just gonna jet.
Fancy meeting you again.
I mean, it's not like you didn't come here on purpose because you knew I'd be here. mean, they say Garuda's like got this huge appetite for destruction, but when they summon her later in the game, like, she doesn't go anywhere. She doesn't actually do anything. She summons a big old wind vortex, and then she sits there for like however long it takes you to fix Sid's airship, or find Sid's airship and fix it. So somewhere in the realm of days to weeks. And apparently literally just sits there waiting for you to come kill her. Now to Ul'dah. No, Chamber of Rule. That's where it is. When you take the airship lift or elevator, the choice is Hustine Strip, but it's the Chamber of Rule Aetheryte. Like, why call it the Hustine Strip then if it's just the Chamber of quote unquote the Chamber of Rule? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Behold, 'tis the Sultana Nanamo herself!
And Roban as well!
Hark you, souls of flame, drawn to the bosom of the desert, where the fire burns brightest and shall rage forevermore. Hurrah! Rauban!
God, the underacting.
Where since antiquity, under the sage and judicious rule of the Ul dynasty, we have wrought sand into gold, where by the grace and glory of Naldal have our brave sons and daughters flourished and prospered. I speak of Ul'dah!
There, at the Flame General's back flies the Grand Company's standard. Note the sigil. The golden scales of order balance the jewel of prosperity with the flame of might.
Great and many are the gifts our nation has given the realm. In Eorzea's darkest hour, on the killing fields of Cartano, none spent more in blood and gold than we.
Gold being the operative word.
Thus was the 7th Imperial Legion laid low.
Wasn't that battle kind of a draw, though? I mean, Bahamut showed up and then you all died.
So that's how it happened. How soon history forgets.
Yet many left our gates, never to return. Let us pray for our absent brothers and sisters, that they might know happiness in the great beyond, as Thal's honored guests. If the fates were fair, the price we paid that day would have bought us victory. Alas, they are not. And now, but 5 years into this 7th Umbral era, the spirit of sacrifice which granted us our strength is all but dead. Look around you. What do you see? A people divided, downtrodden and enthralled. Where are the merciful alms of the rich? Where is the just steel of the righteous? I ask you, Is this the great nation our brothers and sisters gave their lives to save? You who call this living, dishonor the name of the immortal flames. It is but a slow death.
I mean, life is a slow death. That's just... No matter whether you're being an adventurer or going on adventures or not doing anything, life is a slow death regardless. You are going to die. When you die is random luck at best.
Our enemies surround us. The savage hordes of the Amalja wait beside our roads, strangling the lifelines of trade. Meanwhile, the Garleans make mock of our borders and despoil our land of its natural wealth.
We'll go stab them.
We stand on a precipice, yet we do not act. Whether trader or soldier, monetarist or royalist, all must recognize that a divided Ul'dah stands to fall. Victory and fortune walk hand in hand. Ye who seek glory and wealth, look not to what little you can snatch from your neighbor, but to the boundless wealth of the world beyond. Now is the time to unite. Now is the time to ride forth. In the name of the Sultana, I beseech you. Line not your own coffers, but those of the immortal flames. Seek not to prosper from Ul'dah, but to restore her to prosperity. As the realm prospers, so shall Ul'dah. As Ul'dah prospers, so shall her people.
Yeah, for Ul'dah!
Together we are one.
The bluster on this guy.
Your grace.
Raoban? People of Ul'dah, I, Nanimo, 17th in the line of Ul, address you. Much has been made of the wealth of Ul'dah. Yet those who measure that wealth in coins and carats are gravely deceived. For the true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her people.
I mean, I think Lord Lolorito would disagree with you there.
Beloved subjects, I bid you raise aloft the torch of Ul'dah, that her flames might serve as a beacon for all Eorzea to see.
Long live Nanamo!
Glory to the Sultana!
For victory and fortune, stride fearless into the inferno, for we are, by fire, reborn!
Really? Because I'm thinking by boredom reborn at this point. And also that voice acting is cringeworthy for some of those one-off line characters that are just in the crowd.
Forsooth!
The time is now! I believe!
Like, do you hear that? Like, oh my god. And then Ali says back there, like, really? Brother, like, can you just not shut up for 5 seconds? And then Ali says just like, you know what, no. I'm tired of this conversation. What if I don't want to hurry back? But again, pray return to the waking sands. But I can fly higher. See, game? I honestly don't know why it keeps on just giving you that warning that you can't fly any higher. Even though, one, you obviously can. And, well, at least to a point. And two, you're not even trying to go up. You're just flying level. And it's still popping up that warning, like... Is the warning really necessary? Like, I get it with the first time you get up to that specific height, but I don't need to be constantly told that you can't go any higher. And you know, it's really kind of sad that there's not a dungeon in that place right here. Like, I understand, like, there's the trial fight. Well, they call it a fight, but the whole trial thing where you have to kill what's-his-face right here on this little peninsula thing. But this whole area right here could have made for a cool dungeon, and you never even get to go inside of it. Like, I would love to go inside there and see what they're doing in there. And see, she's gone again. Like, she's not... Like, you'd think that if she's the guard of the room, she'd be there more consistently.
The gods only know what grand company our adventurer friend will keep. The wheels of change are in motion regardless.
Brother,
what a selfish
are you
jerk.
certain this course is best?
Whatever do you mean, dear sister?
The so-called remembrance ceremonies were little more than standard waving rallies. As though the Calamity and 7th Umbral Era warranted scarcely a mention.
Well, of course they were standard waving rallies.
I mean, what else were they supposed to be?
Since you are so observant, mayhap you noticed what mention was made of the Warriors of Light? None. I suppose they must have forgotten the heroes who spared Eorzea a fate worse than the Calamity? No, dear Alizé, they haven't forgotten these details. They have elected to omit them. Deep are the wounds the Calamity inflicted upon Eorzea. So deep, in fact, that the realm still bleeds. Needless to say, the beast tribes and their primals do little to alleviate the pain.
He says the realm still bleeds, but I have yet to see any evidence of that.
So, the task of salving Eorzea's wounds falls to the scions of the 7th Dawn, with a little help from our friends, the Grand Companies. Remembrance will yield no remedy. If our world is to heal, we must put the horrors of the Calamity behind us.
Our grandfather would never entrust the fate of the realm to despots who rewrite history to their convenience. There must be another way to cure what ails this world, and I mean to find it.
You are most welcome to try. Our paths may differ, but our destination is the same. In time, I dare say we will see eye to eye.
I don't think so.
I should hope so.
My lady!
We are to escort you!
And then
Hope
she
does not come into it. We share the burden of this fate, dear sister.
And then
we will prevail together or not at all.
Yeah, shut up. And then Alize disappears from the game, and like she does not have a single voice line, to my knowledge, throughout the rest of the game, or throughout the rest of A Realm Reborn. And her two bodyguards, the next time that you do find her, which is to start the whole thing with the Coils of Bahamut, are nowhere to be found. By that point, apparently she's already learned how to be a red mage or whatever it is that she is, and then, or at the time, I forget if she even knows any magic or anything at the time, but when you find her, she doesn't have any bodyguards. She's not being escorted by anybody, so it's like, what was the point? Like, were they planning on doing more with her and her bodyguards at one point in time, but then just didn't have time to do it, or didn't think it fit into the story, or what? I don't know.
The salve will serve not only to close up our present wounds, but prevent old ones from opening anew.
And like I was saying earlier, I'm just gonna go with the serpents because I'm already with them, and it's just easier that way. Yeah. That's what it is. I should have looked earlier, but first serpent lieutenant, the first rank after you get. It's not the highest rank, like after you get your squadron. It's the first rank that you can get after you get them, but not the highest rank you can get before them. No, they didn't touch my heart. It's just I'm already with you guys. It's less effort otherwise. Like, none of your speeches, your leader speeches, were convincing when I first was playing the game or now. Like, they held no sway over my decision then or now. I started in Gridania initially when I first started playing, and I'm started with Gridania here starting as a Dragoon, and that's just all there is to it. Also, this is because I already have Gridania as the return location. It's a free teleport, so why spend money when I can do something for free? Oh look, it's raining, because it's always raining. 75% of the time you go to the Shroud, it's raining. Yes, we have to go save Biggs and Wedge, I think. Yeah, gotta go save Biggs and Wedge. and meet them for the first time. Yeah, we'll take the Aetheryte to the Lancers Guild, and then we'll take the ferry across the lake. Although now I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of curious because when you first join them as this new character, they address you like in this quest. I think it is for the first time. It's private once you get all the whole rescue and everything done. But since I'm already a first lieutenant, I wonder if they're going to address me as that. I guess we'll find out in a few minutes. No one can see the giant Rogadin behind the tree. Huh. Okay, well. None of them turn and see the giant Rogadin and the Elazin running across the field. Like, these Garwins are less observant than, what's a good analogy? I don't know, but they're super unobservant apparently. An honorary serpent. I'm basically already joining your ranks, but you're only going to give me an honorary servant title? Lame. The tiny Bronco. It doesn't really look tiny, to be honest. I mean, I'm gonna kill all these guys faster than you guys are anyway. And it ambush hardly qualifies as an ambush if they just come running across an open field. Like, seriously? An ambush would imply that they caught you unawares. Well, at least these guys take more than 2 hits. Not that they take much more, but still. Better than 2 hits. Cannot stand against the might of the Empire. I literally just killed 5 guys in under 2 minutes. I would say I'm surprised that they have a Serpent Gladiator, considering that Gridania is all supposed to be like archers and lancers, but then I remember the Grand Company, like when you're doing the squadron thing, like you can recruit gladiators and all that. So I suppose it's not that surprising. Except we're never going to meet again, if I remember correctly. And I wish they'd given Wedge a different haircut, because that haircut on Lalafels really gives rise to the whole Popoto myth. Like, that haircut just makes them look like they're supposed to be a vegetable picked out of the ground. And I like this mount. I just wish the one thing that they had done with it, and I'm assuming that it would be kind of hard to program, but it would have been nice, is that if every time you turned, your character's hands would turn and make it look like you're turning, or move, or rotate, or whatever, and make it look like you're turning the wheel of the car. nice little flavor thing there to make it look like it's functioning like a real car, and maybe even turn the wheels, like if you're adjust the camera to see the front wheels, like maybe the front wheels turn when you turn the wheel or press the button to turn. And I kind of wish there was more than just 2 Aetherites in the middle of, or in New Gridania. Like the one in the Aetherite Plaza and then the one at the Archers Guild is nice and all, but like you get enough coverage for this immediate area right here. So like you can get, and then there's you can take the Aetherite to the airship landing, so you get this right here, and I guess suppose like with the Aetherite you can teleport out of town, so this whole area over here, but there's still this whole big little section right here that you have no like immediate access to. Like there could be easily be an Aetherite right here, like this be like the Carpenter's Guild Aetherite or something, or the Twin Adders Aetherite. Like you could definitely fit another Aetherite in this area right here and it not be a big deal. Yawn, boring. We already know what they do. They don't really do anything. They wait for you to show up to do things. My life for the Elder Seer? No. I'm not a StarCraft 2 zealot. Or StarCraft... Or Protoss zealot, that's the word. Protoss. I am not a Protoss zealot, so no. I shall strike down their enemies and drink of their blood? No, that's a bit much. I mean, and Woods Will Be Done is kind of boring. But the other two are kind of meh. You assign me the rank of Serpent Private 3rd Class. Amusing. Well, unfortunately for you, I am not a Serpent Private 3rd Class. I have the Serpent First Lieutenant rank, so, yeah. Pray return to the Waking Sands. Yeah, I don't need your Chocobo quest there, guy. Yeah, see, no. It still says I'm First Serpent Lieutenant, so... Okay, so... Pray return to the Waking Sands. Nope, wrong place. I have a feeling we're getting close to the end of what they call Part 2. I would assume that Part 2 would go, in New Game Plus, would go through Sestasha all the way through the quest dealing with the Sylphs. I think there's like a quest that you got to deal with the Sylphs first before you actually get to Titan, and then once you finish with the Sylphs, I think that leads up to dealing with Titan. So that's where they would split, and then you'd have Titan all the way through the end of Castrum or Praetorium, and then Part 4 would just be the post ARR stuff. But I could be wrong. I could be misremembering things, so we'll just have to see. And she's back. Like, consistency, lady. Consistency. By show them in, she means just say to come in, and they'll come in. Why would they give all that technology to the Scions? Like, what's the point of the Ironworks if they're just going to give the technology to the Scions? Like, shouldn't the Ironworks keep their technology because they're the ones making it? You know, make sense? Yep, we're at least going to get through the Sylphs.
Now, having set aside the formalities, we have a favor to ask of you. Urianger, have the documents arrived from the students of Baldessian?
We have a favor to ask of you, but we're going to stop and talk about papers first.
Aye, my lady. They arrived but recently.
You would think that she would have asked about the papers first.
We have conducted a study at the behest of the Order of the Twin Adder. Papalimo, Ida, a synopsis if you would.
Our task was to survey the behavior of the Sylphs, a beast tribe indigenous to the Twelveswood.
Oh, how to describe them. They look like gisselcreens, floating ones, that worship the primal Ramu.
Ahem. Though technically a beast tribe, Sylphs are blessed with a comparatively personable demeanor, conducive to peaceful communication.
Offering us an invaluable opportunity to learn what the beast tribes know of the primals.
Yeah, but wouldn't that knowledge be different based on what beast tribe you're talking to or dealing with?
While Ramu's existence is well documented, the Sylphs do not, or perhaps cannot, summon the primal any longer, insofar as can be ascertained. Until such time as we know, it would be unwise to assume that the threat posed by the primal has passed.
Which leaves Gridania with the added worry of not knowing what they should be worrying about.
In that regard, they are hardly alone. What we can say with absolute certainty is that Gridania has its hands full fending off Garuda, who, I need hardly remind you, is among the most savage and terrible of all known primals.
And yet also the one most prone to staying still, despite being the element that's most prone to move around.
In short, it is essential that we approach the Sylphs in as diplomatic a manner as possible. Words and actions can be misconstrued. The only sure way to communicate our intentions is the echo. Winning the Sylphs' favor may well bring us a step closer to mitigating the threat of the primals. Will you help us?
I mean, why are you
I
even
am
asking?
grateful.
It's not like I get a choice.
Lovely. Well, as much as I'd like to help, I'm afraid I would be of little use to anyone in Gridania. A veritable babe in the woods.
I doubt that.
Ida and Papalimo, however, should be able to see the forest for the trees. Is that not so, Minfilia?
I mean, we've already established that Ida and Papalimo are the two stationed in Gridania. Like, this whole exchange
Indeed.
right here is pointless.
You are willing?
Leave it to me.
Us, Ida, us!
Oh, it is back up yet. Already, sweet. Free teleports. Okay, so apparently, I'm guessing that the first time you join the Grand Company, the text lines are just set to be private, but then the rest of the time it actually takes account into account your rank, so that's good at least. And yet we're going to go over this whole line of dialogue again. Like we've already established that the Sylphs are peaceful beast tribes that worship remote. Like, why do we need to constantly drill this point home? I mean, if I remember correctly, it only ends through a jaunt through the 1,000 Laws of Total Rock. The second worst dungeon in the game, in my opinion. The worst dungeon in the game, in my opinion, is Cutter's Cry. I hate Cutter's Cry. That is such a bad dungeon. Lancers Guild. Cutter's Cry is bad mainly because, like, until you get to past the second boss, every room you have to go through a different portal or open a new portal, get to a new portal, get to a new portal. Like, just let me go through the anthill. I already knew that. I'm not sure why I have to talk to you. Oh, come on. They're so peculiar that I can't even remember why they're peculiar. So they're basically children. I mean, tricking someone to go falling down a ravine, it's not a laughing matter, but them drawing a marble face on your mask, that's kind of amusing. I mean, I understand that you may have done a lot of adventuring, but like, you claim that they're super peculiar, but yet they're so peculiar you can't even remember it. Like, you would think certain things, being the quote-unquote expert on it, would stick out in your memory. Like, seriously, going to his wife to get that. You could have saved time by just, you know, giving me this stuff in the first place and then letting me go here. You know, save like 20 seconds. I mean, what did the marble do? Breathe on you, and then you can't walk very fast anymore? Is that what your problem is? Why weren't you given the letter by the commander? You know, the guy you would think that would have a letter from the Elder Seer to the Elder of the Sylphs. Why is this random guy out here in the forest the one with the letter of introduction or whatever? the female Ellison dance is our default slash dance is kind of weird, but at least it's kind of an actual dance. If the male Ellison dance is literally, I'm just gonna kick my feet to a couple times and like stick my leg out to the side and that's it. Like there's no effort in the male Ellison dance. Like he's like, I don't care. I'll pretend to dance for a few seconds by moving my feet, and that's a dance, right? I mean, we've already been at this for 3 hours now. Yeah, and we've been at this for 3 hours. I'm starting to get a little bit tired. It's midnight and I need to go to sleep because I got to get kids up for the school in the morning. So I think we'll call it here. I mean, it's starting to get at least a little bit more interesting. The two duties that I had to do were at least vaguely more challenging than the first time. I mean, the second one, it took 4 hits to actually kill them instead of just 2. So there is that. At least the difficulty is going up, so it's not quite as boring, but it's still mostly boring outside of the story elements. Either way, I'm sure as we get farther and farther into the story, the entertainment value of it's going to go up as the combat becomes more engaging. So, but I hope you enjoyed. I hope it wasn't too boring for you. If you're watching this on YouTube later, please like, comment, subscribe. Have a good evening, and we'll catch you later.